It is January 1st, 2024, and I'm going to be giving you my predictions on who I think will be champion in 2024 of each division. And I will also be talking about some of the prospects I see in each division, as well as some people I think are just going to do really well this year in the UFC. Keep in mind this video might be a little bit of a long one, but I am going to try my best to make it entertaining as possible as per usual. Also, keep in mind everything I'm saying in this video is my opinion. So if I say your favorite fighter isn't going to win, I mean no offense. So please don't get upset. We have 11 divisions to cover here today and 11 champions to pick. Starting with the Flyweight division, the current champion is Alexandre Pantoja. He currently has a record of 25-7, and he won the title from Brandon Moreno back in July of 2023. And he has made one successful title defense against Brandon Raw Dog Royval. However, currently scheduled in the Flyweight division is a fight between Brandon Moreno and Amir Albazi. And I assume the winner of that fight is most likely going to get a title shot. And although I do love Brandon Moreno because he is such a lovable dude, I think Amir Albazi will win. I think he will fight for the title this year and possibly even become champion. So my pick for the Flyweight champion of the year is going to be Amir Albazi. Now, a person to be on the lookout for in this division and a really promising up-and-coming prospect definitely has to be Tatsuro Taira. He is 15-0 and has 5 straight wins in the UFC. He specializes in ground fighting, but his striking is actually really nasty. I think the future is very bright for this kid, and he is definitely one of my favorite up-and-comers. Moving to the Bantamweight division with the current champion Sugar Sean O'Malley, who recently won the title from Aljamain Sterling. Sean O'Malley currently has a record of 17 wins and 1 loss. And say what you will about Sean O'Malley, what you can't say is that the dude is a bad fighter. And to be honest, I don't see anybody taking that belt away from him anytime soon. He currently has a bout scheduled with Martin Chito Vera, somebody who TK'd him in the past with a leg kick. However, Sean O'Malley has made insane improvements since that fight, and I think he will beat Marlon Vera pretty easily. And I assume after that, the people to get a title shot are probably going to be Henry Cejudo or Merab Dvalishvili. I hope that's how you pronounce his name. It's probably not. However, I don't think it matters which one of them Sean O'Malley fights. I think he would beat them pretty easily as well. I think Sean O'Malley is going to remain our champion for the 2024 year. So Sean O'Malley is my pick for the Bantamweight division champion for 2024. However, there are 2 people I think we need to be on the lookout for this year, and that is a fighter named Song Yadong. He currently has a bout scheduled with Petr Yan, and if he could beat Petr Yan, that puts him at the top of the division, and if he wins one more fight after that, he could possibly fight for a title. Another person I think we should be on the lookout for is Cody Garbrandt. He is not actually ranked, however, but I think he's about to have the comeback of a century. And I made a video a few days ago talking about this exact topic and why I think he's about to have a huge comeback. Long story short, he's looking a lot better than he did, and he's making a lot less mistakes. Also, Umar Nurmagomedov is in this division. He is 16-0, and I really don't think I have to say that he looks promising as well. Moving on to the Featherweight division, and I am going to be 100% honest here, I am really biased towards Alexander Volkanovski. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time. If you look at my banner on my YouTube channel, he is one of the fighters on there. And it actually breaks my heart to say this, but I think Ilia Topuria is going to beat Alexander Volkanovski. And I think Ilia Topuria will be our champion for the 2024 year. Now, the person I think we should be on the lookout for in this division is Josh Emmett. He's coming off a lot of hype after he just cubed up Bryce Mitchell. I feel like he has a lot more fans now, and with fans comes popularity, and with popularity comes fast tracks to different fights. And I think it's possible we see him do 1 or 2 more fights and possibly fight for a title. Moving on to the lightweight division, where Islam Makhachev is the current reigning champion. He boasts a record of 25-1. He won the title from Charles Oliveira back in 2022, and he has made 2 successful title defenses against Alexander Volkanovski. And I really don't see anybody in the top 3 giving Islam Makhachev a challenge. However, if I had to pick somebody who was going to be champion at the end of this year, I would probably say it's going to be Arman Tsarukyan. He is currently 21-3, and he just beat Beneil Dariush, who was on an absolute tear. Moving on to my prospect pick for this division. Now, the next fighter I'm about to talk about, I'm really excited for. And I think this person will be champion one day because they are all around a great fighter. This person is Benoit Saint Denis, and he is an absolute monster. He has 13 wins and 1 loss. He has 4 wins by knockout and 9 wins by submission, and 7 first round finishes. In my opinion, this dude is a way better fighter than he is actually ranked, and I think he's going to go really far this year. I am a big fan of his. Moving on to the welterweight division, where Leon Edwards is currently the champion. He won the title from Kamaru Usman back in August.
And it starts slowing down. Yeah, if you're not going,
And he has made successful title defenses against both Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington. Now, I think most likely Belal Muhammad is going to get the next title shot. However, I think Leon Edwards could easily dismantle him. Now, I think the pick for the prospect of this division is going to be pretty obvious, and I think he's going to be future champion probably by the end of the year. And the person who I think is going to be champion this year and is my kind of pick is Shavkat Rakhmonov. The dude is an absolute beast, 18 wins, 18 finishes, and 0 losses. Every man that has stood in front of him, he has finished. Nobody has survived him, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. I think Shavkat will definitely be our champion for 2024. However, there are 2 fighters I think we should be on the lookout for in this division, and that's going to be Ian Gary Machado and Jack Medellina. I think these 2 will do great in the division this year, and I think it's possible we might even see one of them fight for a title. Moving on to the middleweight division, where the current champion is the very popular Sean Strickland. He recently won the title from Israel Adesanya back in September of 2023, and he currently has a bout scheduled with Dricus du Plessis on January 20th. I think Dricus will beat Strickland pretty easily and become champion of the middleweight division, and I think he will stay champion of the middleweight division for the entire 2024. I really don't see anybody in the division beating him anytime soon, and that includes Israel Adesanya. Now, let's move on to people who I think might do really well this year in the middleweight division. Obviously, I think Khamzat Chimaev is going to go really far this year in this division if he continues to fight in this division. We all know how good the dude is, and I think that's a very obvious pick. However, a less obvious pick for this division is going to be Brendan Allen. This dude is a phenomenal fighter. He is currently 23-5 and is coming off recent wins over Paul Craig and Bruno Silva. Also, there's this really small fighter in this division, really kind of unknown at this time. His name's Boo Nichol. He used to wrestle or something like that. I mean, I guess he's alright and might be champion one day. All jokes aside, Bo Nichol, a very promising prospect for this division. A lot of hype around the dude, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in the top 5 by the end of the year. Moving on to the light heavyweight division, where Alex Pereira is currently champion. He is currently 9-2 as a fighter. He has 7 wins by knockout and 3 first round finishes. He recently became light heavyweight champion when he beat Yuri Prochazka back in November of 2023. To be honest, I see him remaining champion for the year 2024. And I don't think anybody's really going to be able to take that belt from him. I know Jamal Hill is the #1 contender. He got hurt and had to actually relinquish that belt. However, I think Alex Pereira beats Jamal Hill pretty easily. You also have Magomed Ankalaev in the mix, but he's about to fight Johnny Walker. And if Johnny Walker wins, he might be able to get a title shot. Not immediately after, but I would love to see Johnny Walker be champion one day. He's definitely somebody who's a promising prospect of this division, and he's just an all-around funny dude. And I'm really biased towards him because I like his personality. So, yeah. If I want to make things more fun here, I'm going to pick Johnny Walker to be the light heavyweight champion at the end of this 2024 year. Although I do think it's Alex Pereira, I'm going to say Johnny Walker just for the fun of it. And keep in mind, we will come back next year and review my picks and see how I did, who became champion, who stayed champion, that kind of thing. As long as I could predict that the person's going to be champion, I'll be very happy. Moving on to the heavyweight division, you obviously have the champion, the greatest fighter of all time, Jon Jones. I think it goes without saying that Jon Jones is probably going to remain champion of this division this year, and I don't think there's anybody who's going to beat Jon Jones. However, for the sake of the video, I'm going to say Tom Aspinall beats Jon Jones Keep in mind, my mind knows that Jon Jones is going to win, but my heart is with Tom Aspinall. I do like the dude a little bit, but I know Jon Jones is probably going to Dougie on him pretty easily. But my final choice is that Tom Aspinall will be champion at the end of the 2024 year. Who I think we need to watch out for in this division is Jailton Almeida. The dude is really, really good. He has 7 wins by knockout, 12 wins by submission, and 14 first round finishes, which is just mind-boggling. If you look at the dude's record, it's absolutely stacked. I think he will go the furthest in the heavyweight division this year. Moving on to the women's divisions, and to be honest, this was the hardest part of the whole script. And I'm not just saying that. There's a lot of talented female fighters and they're all at the top of the divisions. So it's really hard to pinpoint who's going to be champion since they're all just kind of so closely matched. Starting with the women's strawweight division, you have the current champion Zhang Weili. She won the title from Carla Esparza back in November 12th of 2022, and she has successfully defended it against Amanda Demos in August 19th of 2023. And although I have been supporting Zhang Weili in the entirety of her time in the UFC, I think the person who's going to be champion of this division at the end of this year is Tatiana Suarez. She's 11-0, an absolute beast of a fighter. She has a bout scheduled with Lemos for February 17th, 2024, and I think she's going to dispatch her pretty easily. Her 3 most recent wins are pretty good. It is a submission over Montana De La Rosa by submission, a win over Nina Nunes by unanimous decision, and a win over Jessica Andrade. Now, moving into the prospects of this division, who I think is going to do really well this year, is going to be Lupi Godinez. She's a good fighter with a record of 12-3. I think out of all the women in this division in particular, Lupi Godinez has the most potential. And I think she's going to go very far the year of 2024. Moving on to the women's flyweight division, where Alexa Grasso is the current champion.
Vale, show feet. Eso es muy raro. Why do you ask to show my feet? This is very weird, but yeah, I'm gonna do it because it's pretty weird. Okay, so here's my feet.
Why is your phone tilted sideways, buddy? What are you doing? She won the title from Valentina Shevchenko on March 4th of 2023. She successfully defended her belt against Valentina Shevchenko again on September 16th of 2023 and wound up winning that fight by draw. Alexa Grasso is a phenomenal fighter. There's no doubting that. However, there's an upcoming fight between Irene Blanchfield and Manon Fiorot happening on March 30th, 2024. And I think that Fiorot will probably win that fight. And I think her next fight will be for the title against Alexa Grasso. And I think Fiorot will be champion at the end of the 2024 year. Now, moving on to my prospect picks for this division, I'm going to say it's Macy the Future Barber. She's a fantastic fighter with a record of 13-2. She is on a 5-win streak. She has 6 wins by knockout and 2 wins by submission. I definitely think she has the most potential in the women's division here. I think she has probably the most star power potential out of all the women's flyweights. And I think she may even be champion one day. But not this year. Moving on to the women's bantamweight division, there is no current champion at this moment in time. It was kind of left vacant when Amanda Nunes retired and nobody kind of had the belt. However, there is a bout scheduled for this vacant title, and that is going to be the bantamweight division fight between Raquel Pennington and Mayra Bueno Silva. That fight takes place on January 20th, 2024, on the night Dricus du Plessis fights Sean Strickland. And I think Mayra Bueno Silva is going to wind up winning that title and become champion of that division. However, a prospect to look out for is probably Irene Aldana, who is currently 15-7, but she has been looking really good as of lately, and she is coming off an absolute banger of a fight with Carol Rosa. But my pick for the champion of that division for the 2024 year is going to be Mayra Bueno Silva. But there you have it, my picks for this year's champions and prospects. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about my picks, or maybe not. What are your guys' pick for the champions this year? Who do you think are the prospects to watch out for? Who do you think is going to go really far this year? Let me know all that in the comment section down below. Anyways, I love all of you. And as per usual, if you have any ideas, suggestions, comments, questions, concerns, ideas on how the videos could get better, ideas for future videos. Leave all that in the comments down below as well. Anyways, peace out, have a good one, and I'll see you all next time. Adios.